Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker has just wrapped up on UFC 308, and what a dominant performance. Khamzat Chimaev in that first round barely strikes with Robert Whittaker, which we knew he was going to shoot early. He gets him down in like the first 30 seconds of the fight, and Robert Whittaker does a good job of defending for a while, but Khamzat was just non-stop attacking, looking for submissions, advancing positions, and eventually he just locks up the rear neck a choke, and Robert Whittaker instantly taps to it. Khamzat Chimaev gets the job done via first round finish, a very dominant performance and an easy win for him. Khamzat is no joke in the first round.
A fight near you! Khamzat Chimaev is that good!
You just submitted Robert Whittaker in the first round. That was an amazing performance.
Yeah, man. I'm going for the belt. That guy is... Thanks, bro. I love you, my brother. You've been always picture for me. You're a legend. Well, respect, he took the fight. He fight with me, man. No one wants to fight with me. All the champions running from me.
It's like, you know.
Oh, look at that.
It's on the. He's tapping.
He tapped already?
Wow.
That was weird. That was weird.
My God.
That was weird.
That first round's tough.
It wasn't even around his neck.
Hey, here's the thing. You probably give him the title shot, yeah? You finish Whittaker in the first round.
You give him the title shot.
Right?
You give him the title shot.
This probably fucks up DDP Strickland.
I gotta see
just
that.
finished
It wasn't
Whittaker?
even around his neck.
He
It wasn't even around his neck.
finished Whittaker?
Real
He tapped quick.
Dude.
Let's see what happened.
It looked like it was around his
I think he
chin.
got his chin. He was breaking his chin. That's what it looks like. He was just.
Yeah, because he just opened his mouth.
You don't want to
funny.
have your that hurts.
He just opened his mouth funny. We'll get a look at it in the.
I mean, I
replay.
could be wrong. Maybe it was around his neck.
It
Maybe
looked like
I'm
it was
wrong.
around his
I
face.
think it was
right,
around his jaw.
Yeah.
I think he's breaking his jaw.
Yep.
Because
Usually
Robert was
when
doing
you-
something with his jaw. He was like, open his mouth.
And
funny.
usually when you, I mean, you could tap somebody if you have a good enough squeeze around the jaw, but it takes a few seconds.
But what if he broke
It
it?
isn't like some
your-
instant
if your
shit.
mouth
Right,
is
but what
open.
if it snapped?
He was tapping
Here we
so
go, here we
fast.
go.
it hurts. Look at the
Let's see what it
shot.
looks like.
Whoosh. From
damn.
downtown, too.
He's
He
so
shot so
fast.
far out.
Once he gets a hold of you, it's so dangerous.
He just needs to get his paws
Okay, here we
on
go. Here we go. Right here. Right. See, it's around the mouth.
That's around
He
the mouth.
tapped
That's around the
quick.
jaw.
That was
around the
weird.
That's around the jaw. He's about
Let's
to
see it
break
again.
his jaw.
Look,
Usually
look,
that
look.
takes usually that takes time.
That was a very
You know what? It
I
was a
think he
neck
broke
crank.
his jaw.
You know what? It was like
think
a
he-
neck crank.
I think that too, but I think he might have broke his jaw.
Yeah, it was, as fast as he tapped, too.
Like, I've prepared. I've tried. I know it's different.
That person was right, though. You do not have guys who can do that.
Sure. But like, he's definitely has been preparing for this. Oh, he tapped immediately. Immediately.
Oh my God.
Khamzat Chimaev,
Oh
round
my
one.
God.
Wow, throws the mouthpiece.
Oh my God.
Complete domination.
That's the
title
champ.
shot.
That's the champ.
Complete domination title.
That's the
shot.
champion.
Round
That's the
one.
champion of this division.
Round one, Khamzat Chimaev. Wow.
That dude is absolutely different than everybody else.
Didn't let Whittaker have any moment
No.
the entire time.
Nothing. This is the thing about Khamzat.
Yeah, so as I was saying, decisive. As I was saying, it was going to be decisive. It was going to be one-sided.
We have to see what
I just got
happened
the
here.
guy wrong, apparently.
Okay, so he has it under the chin. Oh, and he
Okay,
just,
yes.
Wow.
Yes, like he frantically tapped there.
The strength.
This is a y'all must have forgot moment for Khamzat Chimaev,
Yeah,
because
I
let's
think
be
so.
honest, everyone was saying, okay, maybe he isn't as good as we thought he was in 2020. This is his best performance
Since
that actually three, the Gerald Meerschaert fight as well, 3-fight stretch in about a
Because-
month and a half in 2020. This is the guy that we all thought was going to be a champion by the end of 2021. This is the guy. And if
we
I'm a
had the
middleweight right
Holland
now,
one.
I'm like, holy shit.
It's
We
scary.
had the Holland one, but the Holland one was like the short notice. Everybody knows
Nah.
what Kevin Holland's deficiency was. That didn't really like change that. Then you get the Burns. Then you get the Kamaru Usman, where there start to be questions like, what's his gas tank? Can he finish these guys? Also, those are welterweights. This puts no doubt.
No, that was incredible. That was. I mean,
Wow.
And that's because I have so much respect for Robert Whittaker. To do that to Robert Whittaker at this stage of his
Unbelievable.
career,
13. He's ranked 13 in this division. I mean,
Insane. I mean, he's at least top 3 now. I feel like he has to get winner of Strickland.
Robert revealed in an interview with former champion Michael Bisping that he is the kind of person that anticipates the best performance from opponents when he takes them on. Whittaker also issued Khamzat a severe warning ahead of their fight.
I confidently go into fights expecting their best day.
like expecting him to put his best foot forward, and I'm going to beat him across the board. Like the idea isn't to win if I get this sort of scenario. No, it's to beat him everywhere.
Well, you're never the type of guy to back down from a fight. You know, you've been in.
Before his match against Whittaker, Michael Bisping thought Khamzat was the champion. However, Bisping had another query regarding Chimaev, and that concerned his level of discipline before the battle. Bisping added, "The reason I say Khamzat Chimaev can become the champion is for several reasons. Of course, he's got a tough fight against Robert Whittaker this weekend. We know, okay, Robert Whittaker is not an easy man to get by, and if he does that, you gotta think there will be a championship fight at some point in the near future. But the real question boils down to self-discipline. On the contrary, until he witnessed Khamzat's wrestling being used against him in the cage, Robert Whittaker did not think it was real." Robert commented, "I've heard it's really good. He says it's good. Everybody else agrees, so show me. I'm ready. I want it." Khamzat Chimaev stated that if Whittaker ran from him, then he would chase him, and if he came to fight, then he would take him out with full force. Chimaev was of the opinion that Robert usually studied his opponents in the first round and then makes a move.
Gonna run, I have to run after him, you know, so if he fights, I'm gonna fight with him, so that's it.
Is that what you think in the first round he's going to try and avoid?
Former champion Michael Bisping also questioned whether Chimaev could maintain his relentless offensive pace beyond the first round, noting that he appeared exhausted at the end of the opening round in his last two bouts. However, Bisping wasn't entirely critical of the Chechen Wolf, Khamzat. He did offer a somewhat backhanded compliment, labeling Boers as the best one-round fighter in the promotion. Bisping added on Khamzat's ability to face Whittaker. Can Khamzat control his pace, his temper, his anger, his emotions? Can he watch his diet? And can he go 5 rounds hard? Because when he went up against Kamaru Usman, yeah, he destroyed Kamaru Usman in the first round, but again, just like against Gilbert Burns, slowed down in the second and the third. So what does that mean? Well, it means that Khamzat Chimaev is probably the best one-round fighter that we have in the UFC. Meanwhile, Robert Whittaker declared that he has his own plan to not try and wrestle with Khamzat, since he may very well be the best UFC wrestler out there.
Wrestler in all of the UFC, so I'm curious, how would you rate him against those other names that you faced?
You know, he very well might be. The thing is, though, we're not wrestling. I'm going to be doing my hardest to not wrestle with him. You know, I'm going to try and take the fight into my own strength.
Robert Whittaker suggested having a sprinting contest with Khamzat to show off his superior athleticism. However, Chimaev dismissed the offer, stating that he's focused on fighting and not joking around like a clown. Khamzat remained determined to stay on task and finish the job.
Robert said he's ready for a 25-minute sprint against you. Do you think it'll even reach the judges' scorecards?
I don't think so. We'll need 25. I'm here to finish somebody. I'm here to fight, man. So maybe come here and jump around like kangaroo, man. Around, I don't know. I'm here for fight, and I fight from first to last, man. Try to finish the guy.
Before the anticipated battle, both fighters had a super intense but slightly respectful face-off in which they shook hands like daring opponents. Australian MMA fighter Alexander Volkanovski shared that Robert Whittaker had the ability to take down Khamzat. Although Chimaev was a very tough opponent, Alex believed that Whittaker had what it took to get the win.
I mean, Rob Whittaker, I think I'm surprised he's an underdog. I really am. Again, Khamzat is a very good fighter. You know, I mean, you know that he can bring it and he will bring it, especially early. He's going to bring it, and that's just, he's got one speed and that's full on, and he's very dangerous. But I think Rob's going to be well prepared for that.
Max Holloway shared his prediction for the UFC 308 co-main event between Whittaker and Chimaev. While preparing to face Ilia Topuria in the main event, Holloway expressed his belief that Whittaker had the upper hand against Khamzat. He praised Whittaker's ring IQ and striking skills, and also highlighted his superior wrestling, which he considered crucial for a 5-round fight. Max claimed that Robert would win because Khamzat lacked the stamina because of his past illnesses. Holloway added, "It's a 5-rounder. We've seen Khamzat get tired in 3 rounds. He should be training for 5 rounds, we all know. But it's still his first one. Robert's been fighting 5 rounds forever. That guy is just a vet, a legend, an OG of the sport. I think if he goes out there with that anti-wrestling mindset and doesn't get held down too much, I think he can land something." In addition to his previous comments, Robert Whittaker said that he planned on winning the fight by KOing Khamzat Chimaev.
I'm sure stirring there a little bit, but I have to say it.
Perish the thought, man.
Perish the thought. Perish the thought. How do you win this one?
I'm going to knock him out.
You're going to knock him out.
The idea is to get in there and put it on his face.
UFC featherweight champion Dan Ige shared his prediction for the main event, expressing high hopes for Chimaev. When asked about his view on the matchup, Dan stated, "Khamzat, I think he finishes Rob." UFC bantamweight champion Mario Bautista commented that Robert Whittaker had what it takes to beat Chimaev. Mario shared, "I like 5 rounds for Whittaker, and I think he gets the upset win against Chimaev." Welterweight champion Alex Morono picked Robert as the clear winner because of his boxing and striking power. Alex shared, "You can't not like Bobby Knuckles. I think Whittaker brings Chimaev into the deep waters and gets the win." Furthermore, Chimaev was adamant that he could smash Whittaker on Saturday, but also accepted him as a worthy opponent.
You used to always say about all your opponents smash, right? So is Robert Whittaker going to get smashed on Saturday?
Of course, I'm going for that. Yeah, he's been a great champ before, like I said before, and he's an elite athlete, you know, so one of the best guys I'm gonna face. But I think I am the best guy in the world right now.
On the opposite end, Robert Whittaker also spoke highly of Chimaev ahead of their fight, acknowledging that it would be a very challenging matchup and expressing concern for his opponent. Robert shared, "If you take away all the noise, he's very dangerous. There's a high-caliber wrestling game that he's adapted to MMA, and he's got knockout power as well and a chin. He can take shots, he can give shots. He's a hard fight for anyone, and I like being the underdog. The anomaly. It's a position of strength for me." Whittaker further shared that his fight with Khamzat would be a tough and grueling journey for improving his skills, but also mentioned that he was prepared for it. Robert commented, "For better or worse, all hard things make me better, and I can only see this test, facing a guy who's 15-0, as a great test to go through. Imagine how good I'm going to be after this fight." Robert Whittaker revealed that he had been sparring with the best of guys in order to beat Chimaev.
Every camp, I try to better my striking. I try to better my wrestling, better my kickboxing, and being able to spar with guys like this to hone my eyes and reflexes, it's just like it's the best thing. And
Israel Adesanya shared his thoughts on the main event, choosing Robert as the better fighter and referencing his own past encounters with him. Having fought Robert twice, Adesanya's opinion carried significant weight. Adesanya commented, "I just think Rob is a guy not to be Look at his last fight. Hopefully people will remember who he is now. I think Rob will do it again. Definitely not as early. I don't think so. I just think he'll catch him later on. But he has to weather the storm. He has to survive until he can't. I'm gonna go Rob with this one, with the late finish. Round 4, late finish." Eric Anders believed that Robert had what it took to get the win against Khamzat because of his athleticism. Anders commented, "Whittaker is a veteran, and his chin isn't as good as it used to be. But I think he is savvy enough and his cardio is solid to get this win." Meanwhile, lightweight champ Damon Jackson also picked Whittaker to beat down Khamzat. Damon commented, "I think Whittaker. Israel had his number, and why Whittaker hasn't been the champ for so long. I think Khamzat isn't as dangerous at 185 pounds. Meanwhile, Khamzat Chimaev clowned Robert Whittaker and claimed that Robert knows exactly how to lose the fight.
How do you think this fight with Rob will go? Do you believe he will be able to stop the onslaught that you bring in round 1 and round 2 and maybe take you to the championship rounds, or do you think that he won't be able to handle your wrestling and aggressiveness?
I don't know, we will see. And you know how to lose. We don't know. So I'm ready for victory.
Chimaev shared his thoughts on Robert Whittaker as his next opponent by commenting, "This version of Robert Whittaker has been one of the best guys, but now it's my time to beat him. I can catch anyone with my takedown. Will be hard for him. I'm going to finish this guy. He's not hungry like me. He's not that kind of fighter like me. It's a big difference." Alexander Volkanovski predicted that the fight wouldn't end quickly due to the toughness of both fighters, but he gave significant praise to Robert. Alex added, "I think it goes to later rounds where I think Rob can take advantage of it, but I mean, it is going to be a tough first round 100%, and anyone that faces Khamzat knows that, so I guarantee you Rob is well prepared and there won't be any surprises for him." UFC commentator Joe Rogan emphasized that Whittaker was a former middleweight champion and a solid, powerful 185-pound fighter who could turn out to be a serious challenge for Khamzat. Rogan said, "Whittaker is a big dude, he's a solid beefy 185, a former champion." Rogan stated that this fight would be a true test for Khamzat, especially compared to his previous bout with Kamaru Usman, who had taken the fight on short notice. He emphasized that, unlike Usman, Whittaker would have had full preparation and time, making the fight even more significant and a real measure of Khamzat's capabilities at middleweight. UFC star Bilal shared his prediction for the intense matchup. Bilal was initially doubtful whether the fight would take place, but he expected Chimaev to dominate Robert in their bout.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm just hoping that they make it to fight day, right? That's one of those fights I can't wait for it to come, and to know that it's a week away is it's huge. But for myself, I think I got Khamzat taking him down. I don't know. I have him by submission.
Wonderboy predicted the fight before and commented that Robert had one of the best takedown abilities, which could place Khamzat in a really tough spot.
I think that's a very tough fight for Khamzat. I mean, Robert Whittaker's got some of the best takedown defense in the 185 division. I mean, when you go 10 rounds with Yoel Romero and keep the fight standing, oh my gosh. I mean, that's a feat in its own. But I do believe that I think it's a tough fight for Khamzat. If the fight stays standing, I think Robert Whittaker's got it.
Meanwhile, Robert Whittaker claimed to be the superior fighter compared to Chimaev, citing his unique striking skills. He shared his thoughts on the matchup ahead of the fight. Robert added, "I definitely like the faith in my striking ability and the fact that I'm going to go in there and I'm going to hunt Khamzat down. I'm going to take the fight to him. I don't think he'll be able to stand up to that. I don't think my wrestling defense and the caliber of my striking is going to give him an easy night. I can also fight from the first second through to the 25th minute, so I hope he's ready, because I am." Meanwhile, former UFC star Chael Sonnen shared his unique perspective on the matchup. He said that Chimaev may just take down the fierce Whittaker in Abu Dhabi.
Chimaev versus Whittaker, my prediction. I haven't the foggiest idea. Who do you guys think is going to win that fight? Who's going to win that fight? And do you want to know, you guys remember The Godfather? So, he is defiant, Joel, defiant. This fight will not happen. He is angry that the UFC has not yet told us who the backup is going to be. He believes they have a backup. He believes there is a backup, quietly licensed and in the Middle East right now. And I just couldn't imagine who that would be. And he believes that person's going to take on Whittaker.
UFC bantamweight fighter Chad Henniger thought that Chimaev had superior wrestling abilities, which would allow him to become victorious. Chad added, "I'm going with Khamzat because of his grappling, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rob wins, but to me, Chimaev will win." Whittaker and Chimaev went head-to-head in the co-main event at UFC 308, held Saturday at the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. The two were initially set to fight at UFC Saudi Arabia last June, but Chimaev had to withdraw due to a serious illness. Whittaker instead took on late replacement Ikram Aliskerov, securing a first-round knockout victory. Aliskerov had only one other professional loss in his career back in 2019 to Chimaev, which was described as the toughest opponent he had faced up to that point. What were your thoughts on the UFC 308 event? Who did you choose to win in the fight between Chimaev and Robert? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.